Okay, now I think the recording is started now. This is the final sections for today. Right? I will now show you quickly how we can also incorporate some screens making use of the polypad. All right, so you can now go back to the original editing activity. I now continue to change this. All right, and so I open the editing mode again, and here we can, let me see. Okay, well, we can just go to the last line and then add a blank one, right? And well, maybe you can look that the polypad is available down below, all right? And it's called a full screen, just like many some other tools as well. Okay, it's called full screen component. So if you click polypad, then the whole screen will just include only the polypad component, all right? Don't mix up with polygraph. Polygraph is another tool designed by Desmos originally. But polypad is originally an independent tool, right? For those some of you have tried before, you may notice that it was developed by another author independently, but somehow they are now under the same company. That's why they are also integrated together, right? So I can make use of this and click on this. Then you have a space for you to create objects based on polypad, okay? And including some question, you can type the question inside. If you're not familiar with the use of polypad, you can also click this link to find out all the details of using polypad. But I cannot explain everything today in this short video, of course, right? I think you have to check it separately, how to use the tools of the polypad included. Okay. Now, the first thing I like to try here is in geometry. Actually, there's a lot of things you can do with geometry, which is different from the geometry tool in Desmos, right? Later on, you can try to think about how they are different. And for example, I can create a polygon, a free polygon here. So you can choose this one. You call it custom polygon. So you can drag the dot anywhere you like, okay? You can also open the grid to allow you to more easily adjust and change the shape, okay? Something like this. So basically, this is a pentagon, okay, which you can adjust the shape easily. You can add more vertex. You can click anywhere on the segment. Okay, then you have one more vertex, and then you can drag it independently. Now become a hexagon. Can you see this? So that means you can change it to hexagon, heptagon, okay, by adding more vertices one by one. Just click anywhere on the sides, then you'll be able to add more vertices. On the other hand, if you click at the existing vertex, then you will take away the vertex. All right. So this time you reduce the number of vertex. Now I have a triangle, right? A simple triangle. Can you see this? All right. And here we can now, let's see. All right. Now, if you don't want to make any further change, then you can select fixed vertices. By the way, you can check all these available options by clicking the objects and then see what is allowed to do. Or you can click these three dots and then to find out more. Sometimes you can explore all these and then to see what is available. Okay. And okay, if I fix the vertices, I can no longer change the shape. I can only rotate it or flip it, right? But I can no longer fix it. So I have a fixed triangle now. And what I want to do with triangle here is to ask the student to find out its area, okay? So you can use the box here. Use the text box to type the question within the polypad. Find the area of this triangle. Okay. You can even give a space for them to write down the answer. Where you go find it. Okay, I can close the tab on geometry and then click this gear. You can find that there's an offering mode. Okay, so actually, as an offer, or you turn on the offering mode, you have more options. I think later on you can check it and find out what is available. And go back to the first tab here. As an offering tool, additional offering tool, then you can have the options of input field, right? And you can drag here for student to put down the answer. Now, what is the area of this triangle? It is the height is 4 and the width is 6, am I right? Okay, so the area will be 12. So you just enter the number here. Now you can now go to preview. Now what you see is that it's a blank for the student to enter the answer. So if they enter wrongly, you can see that they show that it's wrong. But if they enter correctly, right, so you can see the response. Understand? Now this is basically how it works. And all the tools, you find that it's still available, okay? That means if you go on to preview it, you find that the student can do all the things. Of course, sometimes you want them to create something on the screen, right? Then that can be very useful. But if not, then you can select this. Now you can disable the offering tool. Sorry, you should still open the offering tool, but under this, you disable the show tile sidebar option, right? Or maybe disable all of them and see what it look like. If you preview it, now you don't have any tools here, okay? Because you display everything. You can only move this triangle around, but you don't have any other tools provided. It will be easier for the student to focus on the question and then answer the things. You still can have this option, but these are also can be hidden or taken away later on. Okay, so you can explore all these options. I go back to enable all the tools, okay, and then go on to geometry tab again. Under the geometry tab, apart from polygon and shapes, you can actually get the utensils, which include ruler or protractor. Now you can add a ruler here on the screen and then go on to disable all the other two. Sorry. If I disable all, okay, I enable it first because I still some editing. Now, why I give the student the ruler? Because I want them to measure the triangle. Then of course, at the same time, I have to turn on the grid. Okay. Okay, now I'm ready to disable everything and then go to the preview screen. Now, can you see how it works? So the question is now changed because they need the ruler to measure or even to know what to measure. Okay. So in this case, right, they have to, you can also provide a protractor. In some cases, you want them to measure the angle to find out something before they answer your question, maybe something like this, so that you can change the nature of the question. And so I forgot to close this one. All right, I think now if you go on the preview, this should be done. All right. So everything is now clear, and then you can ask the student to use the ruler to find out the measurement and then answer the question. Okay, do you understand how this works? This is one example, make use of the polypen. Now I now go to another one quickly because we also talk about algebra. All right, so you use the polypen tool here and go to the algebra tile. Right here are the algebra tiles. Or, sorry, below this, you can also see the balance scale, all right? So we mentioned this in some of our lessons, so we can now have a try together. If you take the balance, you can actually, it's called scale, okay? And then you can select some of these objects to that is value or weight. Here you can go back to the numbers tab. You can see the number, sorry, it's the number cast. Okay, more directly, you can set the number cast here. Can you see this? Now, you find that it's not really equal to 3. I cannot remember what's the default value, right? But anyway, it doesn't matter. I just want it to be 3. So I can now select the scale in the middle and choose balance. So this action will set the values of this object to be equal to 3, whatever on the right, okay? So that is the actions of balancing the scale. And it is for you to set up right? The unknown. Understand? Okay, now if you take away 3, then of course you will find that it's no longer balanced. And then I can also give some other numbers for the student to try to balance it. Right, to make it less obvious, maybe now we can go on to take away 3. Okay. And then ask the student what this object is equal to. I have to put it a little bit above because you can see the area. I have to avoid the area related to the scale. Otherwise, you will influence the scale. Okay. So I want to ask what is this equal to? I simply put the equal sign here. Use the text. And then make it larger. And finally, go back to the offering tool so that you can see the input field. Okay, remember I set the scale, set the objects to be equal to 3. So the answer should be 3. Okay, so this is done, right? And now to make it better for the manipulation, I will also like to select this tool. And then under the offering option, because I'm now opening the offering mode, I can design how these objects behave, okay? And one possibility is to fix it, okay, not allowing it to move. Actually, what it means that the student cannot move it. It doesn't mean the scale cannot go up, down. It depends on what you put on the pen. You can still see it go up and down, all right? But I can now choose cannot move and delete. So at least the student cannot move and delete it, right? And now they can still move this one and put it on the scale. Okay. Now you can ask the student to use this number to find out the weight or the unknown here, and then go back to the offering mode. I disable now. Okay. Then what you see will be something like this. All right. Ask the student to, this time they have to use both sides. Okay. If you remember, then they may do it by try and error, and they have given more than one option. Understand? So you can ask them to find out what's the unknown. Actually, the process here requires them to set up an equation visually, okay, in order to experience it. What does it mean by equation, and use it to tell you how they know the unknown. So there is one question I included. I now publish it. So if you go on to see my full set of examples today, you can find these 2 slides, okay? One is asking what is the answer, provided that they can really drag it. Oh, okay, I can only do this one, I think, in order to check that this is equal to 3, right? It will be something like this, all right? And you can explore the other one, which I set up a little bit more difficult. We're using the algebra tile, okay? This one is the algebra tile. And I also leave it here for the student to extract more algebra tile to demonstrate on the screen. Maybe I stop here today, okay, for a demonstration. For the remaining one, maybe I show you some other additional video if I have time to make it. Okay. Finally, let me check whether some of you have answered some of the questions today, so that we can have ideas of what it look like. I think that maybe I go to the, okay, this one. Okay, now you can see some of you have already done something, and then I can see on the screen immediately, right? So that is the advantage of the using Desmos, because what the students have done, you can have a quick glance of what they have been doing, and you can see sometimes very easily the individual steps or movement, right? Very good. Some of you have tried something here, then I can immediately know what's the difference. And similarly, for the balance, some of you have also done something, and then I can look quickly who have already answered the question or who has make some wrong answer, and then I can go into the individual slides and then help them to move it. Right? Actually, this one is correct. You know how to break down the slide, but why it does not work? I don't know whether you have done something. Maybe you changed the value accidentally, perhaps. Right? never mind, we can set up better in this case later on. Okay, I hope that you know how the Desmos work, all right? Particularly with the students working together, you can see easily the answer, and then you can try to go on to discuss with them, all right? So I think we can stop